Hey, listen to Wrestling Roundup on FreeFM, ArrowFM, and MPR. As always, I'm Grady, and live on Discord, we got Josh.
Hey!
First things first, taking a look at what's gonna happen this weekend. It's NXT Halloween Havoc, that typical end of October show for NXT. There are 6 matches for us to take a look at and to preview. And I want to bring up this one first, because it seems like it came out of nowhere. I know at Bound for Glory, Leon Slater, Javon Evans, they had a match, X Division title, no contest. Cool. They will continue that storyline. Well, we're shoving them in a tag team, and they're going up against Mr. Iguana and LA Parker.
Because it's a Halloween-themed pay-per-view, and how could you have a Halloween pay-per-view without La Parca and Mr. Iguana? That was literally what was brought up. And Ava agreed, and now we have this interesting tag team. Because Slater successfully defended the TNA X Division title on NXT this week, and then that immediately then broke into the promo that spun off this match.
Yeah, clearly these two are not finished going at each other.
No. I'm all for this match. This should be a fun spirit of the pay-per-view match, even if it doesn't have a stipulation.
Yeah,
but it should be fun. It's simply, I think that's all it's going to be. Just pure, unadulterated, maybe less than 10 minutes fun.
Yeah, I feel like that's all you can hope for, right? They'll continue the storyline with Evans and Slater a little bit, but you got Iguana in there, you got Parker in there. It'll be fun. There'll be some spots, some bits will go viral, I'm sure, and ultimately, everyone will go home happy, I'm sure. But a match where people might not go home happy. That's a bad segue. NXT North American Women's Championship is on the line. Blake Monroe wants a shot at the title, but Sol Ruka too injured to be there. And so, of course, her friend Zarya are going to defend it on her behalf. What can go wrong?
And everything went wrong. Yeah, they're definitely continuing the whole issues between Sol Ruka and Zarya. Zarya being like too ready to like be on Ruka's behalf on anything, which they even lampooned in the promo on tonight. Yeah, I think Blake Monroe wins the title here.
Yeah, I did hope that the Sol Ruka Zarya breakup storyline was eventually going to lead to Zarya as the North American champion, but this match is set up in a way where there is one outcome to this match, and it is Zarya loses the title for Sol Ruka, causing that massive rift. Blake Monroe obviously came in with a whole bunch of momentum, had the feud with Grace, come out of it. They're doing something for the main championship, so why not bring her down to the North American one? Everything is pretty well lined up for a new champ this weekend. And I guess I mentioned the NXT Women's Championship, so we'll go up to that one. Jacy Jayne's still champion. Her next opponent, Tatum Paxley, winner of the Battle Royal. Not necessarily who I was going to pick as her opponent at Halloween Havoc to win that Battle Royal, but she's cutting promos on NXT and building that match.
Yeah. It's interesting. I've loved the stuff they've done with Tatum Paxley throughout the entirety of the TNA NXT storyline. The stuff that she did in TNA, the stuff she did. I just, as much as I think it's beyond time to move on from Jacy, I'm just not convinced Tatum Paxley is like the person to do it.
Yeah, and I think the silver bullet in this case, I'm staring here at the NXT results. I'm seeing Tatum Paxley holding that championship up, gloating. She touched the belt. It's over.
Yeah. And that's after she lost a tag team match at the main event of NXT. So, double whammy.
It's not looking good for Tatum. She's got a lot of odds stacked against her. coming into this match. I probably see JC Jane coming out, as you say, on top, still something soon to take the title off her, but maybe not this one. Uh, let's go NXT Tag Team Championships. The Hardys took the titles off of Dark State, went off, defended them alongside the TNA Tag Team titles at Bound for Glory, held on to both still, and now here we are. Dark State seemingly reawoken the broken portions of Matt and Jeff, and now we're getting a broken rules match for the titles with Dark State getting their rematch, and that's all the intro I'm gonna give this one.
Yeah, yeah, this is not going to go well for Dark Slate. I think it's going to be even worse than the match they had when they lost the titles. This is also potentially lead to a Hardy compound visit on either show. I don't know which one it would be at this point, but I could definitely see them doing one of those again. Because I think if you're going to break out the Broken Hardys, you can't do that and then just go back right afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
So I think some tag team from NXT is going to end up at the Hardy compound. I just don't know if it's who is it going to be? I don't even know if maybe they'll just take all 4 members of Dark Slate and just torture them.
Yeah, obviously when I read the results and saw it, I was like, okay, we're getting Broken Hardys, so we're gonna have, a cinematic match for Halloween Havoc, and I see Broken Rules match. I click it and it's like Last Man Standing. I'm like, okay, interesting. But yeah, it does feel like that's where it's heading towards. There's one of two paths, right? This was a one-off just for this pay-per-view to do the Halloween gimmick, and that's it. You just bring out their spooky versions, do a tag team match, and you move on really fast. Or as you say, this is something that's going to lead to a compound match. As far as I'm aware, it's been a while. And so I think I'd prefer it to mean something rather than a one-off.
Yeah, I know. I know they did a compound thing with the system last year on TNA. Mm-hmm. When Matt and Jeff returned to TNA last year, they took the system because they were feuding with then TNA champion Moose at the time. And system had every title at the time, so it was kind of all wrapped up in one. But yeah, I do remember that because I was on TNA's subscription at that time.
Yeah, hopefully it leads into something. In terms of this match, there's no way Dark State are winning this match.
Yeah, they have an even less chance of winning this match than they had the last time, and we didn't even give them a Dolph Ziggler chance.
No. Tatum Paxley got more chance than they do.
Yeah.
We do have the NXT North American Championship for the men on the line as well. Ethan Page defending it against Dr. Wagner Jr. in a Day of the Dead match, which I think is just a no DQ.
I believe
they keep giving them funny names.
Yeah, I believe so. I would love nothing more than seeing AAA walk out with this title, just because I think it would be like, it would kind of ease some of the concerns about just WWE just running Rumshoff over them.
Mm-hmm.
Which just reminds me, we forgot to even predict who'd win that other tag match. We were just talking about how fun it would be, and we didn't even say, "Hey, this team's gonna win."
That's
but
fair.
Yeah, I think this will be a very psychological match. I don't know much about Wagner in his in-ring skills and his psychology and stuff, but I just can't pick against Ethan Page right now. I just love the gimmick so much.
That's fair. For me, I'm just really glad this is not title for title. That's all I'm happy about. I think if Page does win here, it does set you up to do a rematch for the AAA Latin American Championship that Wagner has, potentially, giving him his win back there. I don't know. We've got belts obviously on Dominic Mysterio right now, Intercontinental and AAA Mega. Do I need to see Wagner with AAA Latin America and NXT North American? Dunno. Um, you're right that Ethan Page is, on the run of a lifetime right now in terms of what he's doing, entertaining day in, day out. Um, I think his title reign is coming to an end soon. I feel like I'm repeating what we said for JC Jane, but is this it? And I'm not entirely sure that this one is it. So I'm going to also just take Ethan Page and play it safe on this one, I think.
Yeah.
And then lastly, NXT Championship on the line. It's our two big titans, Ricky Saints, Trick Williams. No stipulation, just a straight one-on-one match.
Uh, Rick, which one of these people have a new championship buff?
Ricky got that new champ buff.
Yeah. And Trick is the old guard, the old champion. Yeah. And what can I say? I think this is like Trick's like one song. I don't know how much longer he's going to be in NXT at this point. But this is definitely the shooting Ricky to the moon type of match, putting him over. You have him beat Owen Fibby, who's been like run Rev Shop over for a year. The guy that he ran Rev Shop over was Trick Williams. And Trick Williams has been the majority of most of the storylines for the last 2 years.
Mhm.
This is like elevating him to that status so that you can then potentially take Trick and put him on the main roster. Or potentially like just have him full on work in TNA for a while. Or something.
Yeah,
But
I think we've been talking about Trick Williams' main roster for a while.
Yeah. So it's just a matter of where they go from here. But I just think he's got a couple months left at most in NXT. Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, Raw after WrestleMania, somewhere around there. Maybe he just shows up and starts teaming with Carmelo Hayes on SmackDown after this, and this was his goodbye. We don't know.
Yeah, it does feel like, Royal Rumble-ish. When that starts coming around, we get to these November, Decembers, and we start talking about who may be called up, who may return, etc. And it does feel like we've just given the title to Ricky. He got that buff. He's not going to lose it anytime soon. Trick Williams just coming off of losing the TNA World title as well. Makes sense for him to lose here, whether that sends him into a spiral or not. Don't know, but it doesn't look great for Trick Williams when it comes to this weekend and walking out with any gold over his shoulder. Alrighty, well, that is the card for NXT Halloween Havoc this weekend. We're going to go into our entrance theme of the week, and it is AJ Styles' theme, but it's his TNA Get Ready to Fly. Get ready to fly! Back Wrestling Roundup on FreeFM, ArrowFM, and NPR. Taking a look over to Raw. I'm just going to jump straight into it. AJ Styles, Dragon Lee, brand new World Tag Team Champions.
All right. Two things. One, you can be completely delusional and be completely right in saying something. That is the case for the New Day. And what they said about everything they had to say about AJ Styles and Dragon Lee winning these titles. AJ Styles just won these titles just to get under the skin of the Intercontinental Champion because he wants that title. And Dragon Lee is supposed to be in a team with the LWO, but is doing anything and everything possible to have nothing to do with them.
You're not wrong. You're definitely not wrong. I think this is great for Dragon Lee, right? Ignoring the LWO aspect, which has kind of plagued him since he came up to the main roster. It's just presenting him on that level with AJ Styles, and AJ gets, a title run. He announced, I think we mentioned it, that next year would be his last, and gives him something bigger to do, something that propels the story forward, and it's not like Judgment Day were doing a whole hell of a lot with these championships anyway.
Yeah. yeah, this is a way to maybe potentially spin Dragon Lee away from finally away from that group and like make him his own person because when we've seen small snippets of his personality and stuff, it's been pretty interesting. We just haven't gotten to see much of it because it's been bogged down by the whole LWO stuff. Um,
Yeah, it feels like a deshackling almost. We're going to
yeah,
hopefully see a little bit of Dragon Lee, not the LWO's Dragon Lee.
yeah. So yeah, if that's all it has to take to like elevate him is to work with, and there's not a person that he could work with right now that's healthy that could do more for him, elevating his abilities and stuff than AJ Styles.
100%.
The only person with his style that could make him better is unfortunately injured, and that's Rey Mysterio himself.
Yeah, it feels like there's a little bit of juice there with him and Ray, but him and AJ will be a banger. Will it last, 20 weeks, half a year? Probably not. But you're in the ring with AJ and you're getting more exposure in not underneath the LWO shadow. That honestly, not a lot of people, if anyone, has really sort of flourished under. And so yeah, it'll be good for him to take a bit of a break from that. And yeah, always good to see AJ in a bit of a spotlight, especially now that we know dates are limited with him as well. Well, that wasn't the only title change this week. On the weekly shows, we got a brand new United States champion as well.
And that was a shocker. I will say this. I love the fact that Sammy did the whole open challenge. It was going to eventually catch up to him. Uh, the, the surprise was that it was Ilya's return to capture the title.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so yeah, it's just I'm interested because we didn't get to see much from Iliad prior to his injury. He worked with Gunther a little bit, was doing some good stuff, but we didn't get to really experience Ilja Dragunov. Hopefully, with the title, we get to do that, but I also have to have reservations because outside of Sami Zayn, the last couple of years has not been kind to people holding the U.S. title. It either fades into the background or it's just a prop in part of a different storyline. Obviously, I'm referencing the Bloodline stuff on that one.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what is going to end up happening. Hopefully good things. I really do like Ilya. I like everything he did, NXT UK, NXT coming up through. As you say, we didn't really get the most out of him on the main roster prior to his injury. Hopefully we see good things out of him. I like the open challenge gimmick just because it does, not saying that Dragunov should continue that, but that it does get the belt on the show every week, or if not, the very next week. And it does give an opportunity for some, lower card guys who are never going to win to have a shot, get a bit of a showcase, and for the champion to have a bunch of matches with a bunch of people that they probably wouldn't have in the first place.
Yeah. And also, this also kind of maybe gave us our idea of where they're pivoting for the War Games matches.
Mm-hmm.
Because after this match, the Bloodline 3.0 MFTs, whatever you want to call them, took out both guys and Ray Phoenix. And then they were immediately a video package played that basically called war out for the MFTs from the Wyatt Six.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Obviously, we had 51 different ways that we thought that the War Games match was going to, at least for the men, was going to shake out. We had, are we going to put the MFTs in it? Are we going to do Seth Rollins' group versus, CM Punk's group, all the faces? It's all these crossover storylines, and then Seth Rollins gets hurt, and now everything's in disarray. What are we getting for War Games? You are right, MFT's big team. I think they're up to 5 now with Tama Tonga returning. It does make sense for them to be involved in War Games if that is where they want to go, and the Wyatt Six is a 4 to stand against them, so it can definitely pull it off without needing to throw random people in just to make up numbers.
Yeah. Um, at the worst, I mean, you could just throw in a random person to make it 5v5, because I don't think you want to have a War Games match where there's a woman involved, but only on one side.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, they'd either make it 4v4 or give the Wyatt Six an
yeah.
extra friend.
Yeah, and maybe that's where Sammy or something comes into play. We at this point we also have to wonder what is next for Sammy, because all our plans were like, okay, this. He's going to carry the U.S. title through Summer Survivor Series at least. Nope, that's not the case. So the question is now, where does Sammy go from all this?
Mm-hmm. And it's kind of hard to predict right now. I don't think it's super obvious. There's obviously stuff with the MFTs that you can do, but it feels like Sammy's been stuck in that vortex a little bit. Always going against some members of there. Obviously, Solo Sikoa did come out and try and interact with Sammy's match in the middle of it before the bell rung and we got a new champ. So maybe something there, but I just don't know what our short-term future for him and for everybody is, especially with the pivot on Seth's injury. I think that could have really rattled where certain people were going. And talking, I guess, about who was rattled the most with the Seth injury was the title gets vacated and CM Punk was meant to get his shot against Seth. Don't know how that match would have gone. Instead, we get a battle royal to determine who will be CM Punk's opponent at Saturday Night Main Event for that vacant championship. And I'm sitting here, reading that, being told that and going, oh yeah, maybe a Braun and we'll do some sort of match there and that'll make sense. And Jey Uso comes out on top, still, messing around with LA Knight and still messing around with his brother, but it's Jey comes out of the top and Uso Punk is what we're going to be getting for the vacant title.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm not. Is the title match next week on Raw?
I think it's Saturday
no,
night's
it's Saturday
main
night's main event. All right. I thought I had heard next week on Raw for somewhere. I don't know why. It's going to be interesting because Jey did what you're supposed to do in a battle royal. It's every person for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Jey and Jimmy could not win this match together. Try as they might, that's not going to work again ever.
Yeah.
It is the second battle royal he's won this year, so go figure on that one. I still think Punk wins because I think they broke that glass now. But at the very least, we don't see because we were thinking Braun Breaker maybe. I think that's really starting to come into the picture of maybe WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
Punk versus Braun Breaker, WrestleMania. And that's just a long time for Punk to hold the title, though. That's the one thing that concerns me, because, but it'll be interesting. It's just, I loved how they played it off. They played off the whole thing with Jey being optimistic and eliminating Jimmy, and Jimmy just looking up him like a hurt puppy, which may indicate some sort of involvement in the world title match. And Jay's just continuing further down maybe the path of darkness, which we also have to remember a little bit of a thing from the feud 2 years ago when Jimmy cost him the match with Roman. He said he did that because he didn't want Jey to become Roman. And the last few weeks has been looking more and more like, as Jey gets more unstable, more sort of like Roman was in that period. And I think this might be something that, yeah, I think that's definitely the element here. And it's always fun to have a callback.
Yeah, I think if there'd been some other combinations against CM Punk here, maybe I would hesitate on picking the Punk break glass and emergency option. With it being Jey, I think his storyline is more turning into Roman and getting a bit more darker and everything he does. So his story probably will propel forward more with losing this title shot. Um, but yeah, we'll have to see how it all plays out with the Vision as well, because Becky's mad at Heyman and Heyman's all over the place a little bit. So I think we said last week, you got to give it a little while after the injury and the whole storyline shakeups to see how it's really going to settle. And it's still only been, a couple weeks. We'll put these two together. We'll have them do their thing, and still got to figure out how the storylines are going to recover long term, given such a big chess piece has been removed from the board. Alrighty, well, that is all we have time for this week. It's been great talking to you.
Bye, B.
You can visit our Facebook page, facebook.com/wrestlingrndup, our Twitter page, twitter.com/wrestlingrndup, or our YouTube page, youtube.com/wrestlingrndup. And we will catch you next week.